Hello students, let us discuss the last part of the lesson, settlements and migrations. So already have discussed about in the previous two classes about settlements. Let us discuss about the migrations in this class. Okay, migrations already you know meaning of migrations. People moving from their places to other places to searching of better opportunities is called migrations. What are the better opportunities like livelihood or education or employment or skills? Okay, so people moving from one place to another place. Usually the people who are migrating from their native place to another place, those are called migrants, are that is called migration. Okay, migration arises out of various social, economic or political reasons. Mostly economical reason, most of the migrations occurred. So in sometimes because of social or political reasons also people migrate one place to another place. So how to consider people either migrant or non-migrant? So to measure or classify migration pattern, so to identify whether a person is migrant or not, we are having two type of criteria we use. One is birthplace, place where the person was born. Based on this, we can say either that person migrant or non-migrant. Okay, so sometimes in Hyderabad, if you ask where is your birthplace, so many people, most of the 60% or 70% people say the other place as their birthplace. Means they came to Hyderabad for different purposes. So these are all are migrants. Example, my birthplace is Bhadrachalam, but I am staying in Hyderabad. So what is the meaning of that? So I migrated from Bhadrachalam to Hyderabad. Like that. So birthplace. Based on birthplace, we can find whether that person is migrant or not. So second one is last usual place of residence. A place where the person had stayed continuously for a period of 6 months or more. So if any person staying at one place more than 6 months from their birthplace, those are considered as migrant. So if they staying less than 6 months, so that is not considered as migration. Clear? Two criteria is there. One is birthplace. If any person staying other than his birthplace for long period, more than 6 months, so he is considered as migrant. Second one is the person who is staying at one place more than 6 months, he is also considered as migrant. Okay, next. So here some given particulars given about either migrant or non-migrant. So see those particulars. So name, present address for the last 6 months, place of birth, migrant or non-migrant, pattern of migration, either they migrated from rural to urban area or urban to urban area or rural to rural area or rural or urban to other countries. Okay, international migrants. So shall we discuss? Here first person is Sindhu. So actual present address, she is staying more than 6 months. Here Bijwaram, village in place of birth, village in Jogulamba district. So place of birth is different. So but where she is staying is different. So you can consider migrant. So rural to urban area. Rural to urban. Next, Grace Ovia. So present they are staying Hyderabad but came from birthplace is Mumbai. So migrant, so urban to urban. Hyderabad also urban area, Mumbai also urban area. So urban to urban they migrate. Next, Ali, an NRA. So present he is staying in New Delhi but came from London, birthplace from London. So migrant, he is called international migrant. Urban to urban or international migrant. So Lakshmi, Timmapuram, for only 2 months. So what is the second condition? Who are staying more than 6 months only, they will consider as a migrant. Here she is staying for only 2 months. So Vikarabad, so non-migrant. So there is no question of rural to rural or urban to urban or international. Okay. Next, Swati, Mankondur, Karimnagar district, Hyderabad. So migrant. So why she moved from that village to here? So selected for group 4th TSPSC. She got the government job. That's why for job purpose she migrate from that place to this. Like that we can consider two criteria to find the either people persons are migrant or non-migrant. So it is very important. So in India, according to census 2011, already you know census. Census means the authority who collect the information about the population in our country. For every 10 years, we collect the information about the population for every particular. So that is called census. According to 2011 census, about 307 million people have been reported as migrants. Nearly 30 crores people are migrants. Okay, so migrations can happen due to many reasons. So already know, while females, when you talk about females, usually report marriage as the most common reason for migration. So after marriage, they will settle along with his husband where he is living. So people may migrate. Next, for male, employment or seeking of employment is the most common reason for male to migrate. For women, so marriage, and for male, either job or seeking of job is the main reason to migrate. Okay. And another dissatisfaction with employment opportunities in rural areas or native place, and a better opportunity for studies, losses in business, family disputes, etc. are also some of other reasons that people have stated as reasons for migration in the census surveys. What is that? Dissatisfaction with employment or employment opportunities, or in salary, or in promotion, okay, in development, or better opportunities for studies for their children or for them also, and losses in business. So people who got lost, so they cannot stay in that area, they will change the place. Next, family disputes, the disputes between the brothers or some because of assets or because of fields. So people migrate from one place to another. So do you agree with most of the children are dropouts in migrant families? Yeah, of course, 80%. So who migrate for short period. So along with them also, the children who are studying in the rural areas will accompany along with their families. Then they will become dropouts. Okay. Next, seasonal and temporary migration. So usually sometimes people migrate rural area to rural area for seasonal. So after the rainy season, so to find the excess income, to find the livelihood, people migrate. Laborers or the small farmers will migrate for less than 6 months. These are called seasonal or temporary migration. So these cannot found by census. Okay, so we cannot the number of seasonal migrants is underestimated is in India due to limitations in the definition of the term migrant used in the national surveys, but people migrate from rural area to rural area to urban area for temporary purpose less than 6 months. These are called seasonal migrants, okay, or temporary migrants. So every fourth person in India is a migrant. So out of four, one person is a migrant. Okay, next, rural to rural migration. So here we can consider migration three types: rural to rural migration, rural to urban migration, so urban to urban migration, and international migration also. Okay, what is the meaning of rural to rural migration? So most of the states, people one village to another village, they will migrate for to work in the fields of different crops. Okay, example, Maharashtra is one of the popular state of India which produces sugar. So it has 186 cooperative sugar factories. You can understand how they are producing, how large quantity of sugar they are producing. Large scale sugarcane cultivations began here in the early 1970 after the Koyna Dam was built. So according to these studies, so 6,50,000 laborers migrate from central to west Maharashtra, central Maharashtra to west side of the Maharashtra, to work in sugar fields at the harvesting time to cut the sugar. Okay, of these, around 2 lakh are children in the school age group of 16 to 14 years. They came with their family members. So those also work in the fields. So they leave their schools. So like that, they will become dropouts. The sugar cane cutters camp for the season in clearing marked by factories. So these are in the vicinity of the fields. So they will provide for stay. They will provide something. Each family is provided with a bamboo mat and poles to construct the hamlets. Okay. Next, a large section of rural workers migrate for a short duration and particularly due to distress caused in a rural areas. So laborers and the small farmers who are having a less land, so after the harvesting season, so they will come to work in different fields. They are mainly agricultural laborers or marginal farmers in their places of origin and mostly belong to low income households, Dalits and Adivasis. To earn more income, to add more income, they will migrate. According to National Commission of Rural Laborer in the respect of 1990s found that uneven development and regional disparity triggered and accelerated seasonal migrations. Uneven development. Even if you see, only urban areas are developing. So we are neglecting the rural areas because of lack of irrigation facilities, lack of hospital facilities, lack of educational facilities, lack of employment facilities. People are migrating. In some tribal areas, intrusion of outsiders, so and displacement of people for construction of dams and mining have increased distress seasonal migration. So if you see, in case of tribal community, because of outsiders encroaching their fields, their places, and because of construction of dams, they are moving from their houses, displacement. So that's why they are moving towards cities. You can understand here social background of short-term migrations in India, 2007 and 8. So here given short-term means less than 6 months, who migrate one place to another. So in that, if you see the social background, so 19% of SC, scheduled caste, 23% ST are migrating rural to rural or rural to urban areas, 18% OBC and others 40%. When you compare the backward classes, 23 plus 19, 42 plus 18, 60% of the backward communities are migrating, seasonal migrating to earn more income to rural areas to urban areas. Clear? So because of lack of education, lack of skill, lack of knowledge, lack of other facilities, so they will come and work in the urban areas. in factories or in somewhere. Okay, next. In agriculture sector, employers go to the native place of migrant, so and recruit them. So contractors, usually supervisors, will go there, villages, and recruit these rural laborers or other members to work in the quarries or brick kilns, okay, in other factories or farming in some fields, so like that. So those workers are employed in those fields, okay. So even some contractors recruit, or even supervisors also go there villages to recruit the people. So this is called rural to rural migration. Okay, next, rural to urban migration. So people migrate from rural areas to cities due to insufficient employment opportunities, same, and inadequate income available in rural employment. So when you compare rural and urban areas, the payment is more for same work. So that's why people attract towards the urban areas. People also migrate with the expectation of higher income and more opportunities for family members. So here, if the wife is educated, she can work in schools or some colleges, somewhere in shops or something like that. They can add more income to their family. So opportunities for family members and maybe better services. So health, okay, and other shops like that. So most urban migrants have to work as laborers and find employment in the unorganized sectors. Who migrate from rural area to urban area will work in the unorganized sector only because of lack of education and other facilities. So they could be working as hawkers, painters, repair persons, rickshaw pullers, construction laborers, or drivers or cleaners, like that. Some people are working in shopping malls as shopkeepers. Okay, so people from rural areas move to cities and towns to work in industries and other services activities. So nowadays in urban areas, service activities are increasing more. So people work in those places. So like this, they will increase their income and they will enjoy the better family prospects or services. Okay. So in this process, they have opportunities for education, new jobs, and to acquire new skills. There is a provision to improve their skills in the urban areas. So here they have greater freedom and somewhat less discrimination based on caste and gender. In rural areas, so people know, every people know about all the people. So they know, remaining people know about the community, religion of every person. So that's why there was a more discrimination is there in rural areas, but in urban areas, people don't know about their neighbors. Okay, the community of the neighbor and something. That's why there was no discrimination in the urban areas. That's why people migrating rural area to urban area. Next, some people living in urban areas, living conditions in slums, in towns and cities are worse because space is cramped and even basic facilities such as drinking water and sanitation are not available. So who are migrating from urban areas, they are living in slum areas, they are not getting even public facilities also. So these people are not able to find jobs in the organized sectors, so they may work in the unorganized sectors. So therefore there is no job security, no more income, decent income. Okay, and they continue to live as daily workers. So these are the problems in the urban migrants. Okay, next. So some people may residents both at their origin and at the destination. They don't shift permanently. So they move from native place to urban areas and urban areas to native place. So migration does not necessarily involve movement of all members of the family, and often the wife remains in the rural area. Okay, next, international migration. So second one is, next one is international migration. One third of the world, 2000 million international migrants are there. Okay, less than 70 million people, according to the United Nations Development Program (UNDP). Under UNDP, they migrate one place to another, have moved from one developing country to another. International migration from India is of two types. So, what is the meaning of international migration? People migrate one country to another country. So, that is called international migration. So, rural to rural migration, rural to urban migration, urban to urban. Next, country to another country. So, people with technical skills and professional expertise have migrated to countries such as USA, Canada, United Kingdoms, Australia, and other developed countries like software engineers, okay, who are having technical skills, then go to developed countries like USA, Canada, United Kingdoms, Australia, and other developed countries. So, example, IT professionals, doctors, and management professionals. Okay. Next, Indians migrating to countries such as UK and Canada in 1950s and 1960s were unskilled, whereas in the later years mostly professionals went to these countries. In recent times, Indian professionals also go to countries such as Germany, Norway, Japan, and Malaysia. Some European countries even they are going to Japan and Malaysia of Asian countries also they are migrating. In the 1950s, about 10,000 persons a year went to developed countries, and in 1990s this has increased to more than 60,000 a year. So like that, even in US, most people who came to USA, almost one third of the people belongs to India. Okay. The second type of international migrations is unskilled. First one is skilled. Second one is unskilled and semi-skilled workers migrating to oil exporting countries of West Asia, means Dubai, Kuwait, Iran, Iraq. Okay, West Asia means those are the countries. West side they export the oil on temporary contracts. They go and work for on temporary contract, not more than 6 months. Temporary contracts not more than 6 months. Almost all these workers come back after a specific period depending on the employment situation in the destination countries. So during the last few decades, Saudi Arabia and UAE, United Arab Emirates, have been the important destinations for most of the 3 million Indian workers in the West Asia, especially from Telangana also. People migrate to those countries. Every year, more than 3 lakh workers migrate to West Asia. Nearly 3/5 of workers going to West Asia are from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. Most of the people are belongs to South India. So, a considerable section of these workers are engaged in construction projects, maintenance, services, transport, and telecommunication systems. So, all these migrated workers were working in construction projects, maintenance, service, transport, and telecommunication sectors. Clear? So, what happens when people migrate? So, which type of problem they are facing after migrating? So, usually migrant laborers face food problem, and they will spend more money to acquire food. So, they cannot get food grains from fair prices, and they cannot carry food grains from their faraway places. Okay, So they live in harsh circumstances and unethnic conditions. So without proper facilities, water, drinking, sanitation. Okay, so they suffer from health problems and are prone to disease. So they spend more money on health also. Those working in quarries, brick kilns, construction sites, and mines suffer from body ache, sunstroke, skin irritation, and lung diseases. So because of pollution, because of dust, they get lung diseases also. So if the employers not follow the safety measures, so the accidents are very common in those mines and other places. Okay, migrants also not able to access various health and family care programs, like these sectors won't provide any facilities for children. Okay, no maternity leave and crutches they won't provide. Okay, so when families migrate, children will also accompanying their parents, do not have crutch facilities, and even people unable to continue their students unable to continue their studies at their parents new workplaces. Why? Because they don't get admissions in that places. The schools may be far away from their workplaces. So even schools in their native place refuse to take them again when they came back. Why? Because already syllabus may be completed. Even when students who are lived in the middle of the year, they are unable to read and study. That's why the old school also never give the admission again on in in that particular academic year. So finally, they become dropouts. Okay. When males leave their families, it is also a major challenge for women who have to take care of all the responsibilities of the family and elderly people who need care. Even girls, young girls in such families are required to take care of siblings, and many of them becomes dropout. So to take care, they will stay back at home only. That's why they are unable to go to schools. Especially the elder girls become dropouts. So like that, most of the migrants and particularly those going for a long term send remittances to their families. In some regions like of India, nearly one third of households depend on the remittances sent by their migrants members. Not only India, in China also. China also depend on remittance. So I think 30% of their GDP effect on remittances. Okay, majority of seasonal migrants either remit or bring back savings. So sometimes to meet their debits, to purchase a new lands, to construct a house, so people go to other places to earn more money. Okay, next, monitoring of international migrations. So sometimes how if they go other countries, if any problem arises there, so who will solve these problems? For that purpose, the Immigration Act 1983 is the Indian law governing migration and development of Indians abroad. So to help them, so our country passed the Immigration Act 1983. So according to that, so already every country appoint their ambassadors in different countries to maintain the relation with the different countries. So those ambassadors will take care the problems of these workers who are migrant to other countries. So which type of problems they will face? So usually migrant workers are not paid their salaries. So recruitment agents cheat prospective workers or collect more than the prescribed fee for their role in getting work for workers abroad. Okay, without proper papers, they will send to other countries. Okay, so employees also terminate the job contract before its expiry, so they are unable to get another job, and changes the employment contract to the disadvantage of migrant workers, pay less than the agreed salary, and freeze fringe benefits and other perquisites, other facilities. So at the time of appointment, they will promise to pay a particular salary, agreed salary, and in addition to that, they will promise to pay some fringe benefits and perquisites in addition to the salary. So after going there, they don't pay that. So like this problem, the migrants, international migrants face these problems. So to solve this problem, so Immigration Act was there. So ambassadors will look after. They will discuss with the concerned country ambassadors and solve the problems. So they often force workers to do overtime without making additional payments, and deny permission to keep one's own passport. So they will take passports and harass the workers. Indian migrant workers seldom lodge any complaint against their foreign employers for the fear of losing their job. So if they give the complaint, they will lose their job. That's why they don't give the complaint against the employers. So like that, example, not only America, who are migrating West Asia like Dubai, Kuwait, Iran, Iraq, these people may face so many problems. Even last year our students also faced this problem. So many students came back because of some policies imposed in the US also. Clear? So those are called international migrants, and those are the problems they are facing in the migration. Clear? So there are three types of migrations: rural area to rural area, rural area to urban area, and international migrations. Clear? So with this, lesson is completed. So write your own notes. Thank you.